Welcome, everyone. A few minutes ago, the North Cornwall Township Zoning Hearing Board decided to uphold their township zoning officer Tom Long's cease and desist order that was served this past August. The battle with North Cornwall Township has been all-consuming, frustrating, and has inflicted a devastating financial and emotional toll on myself, my family, and this business. I no longer have the strength or resources to continue this fight through an inevitable and costly and lengthy appeal process. Unfortunately, this case is not about right and wrong, what has been permitted or not permitted. It has nothing to do with loud music, a food truck, making a terrarium, painting a wine glass, or any of the other alleged violations. This case is about greed, power, money, corruption, and collusion. I was originally instructed by my counsel, the law is 100% on my side. However, the law only applies to those who can afford to defend it. The players in this township have a long, ongoing history of running things in their township and are not ashamed to simply outspend their opponents to get their way despite the law. As anyone who has attended these exhausting hearings can see, the pompous, conceited public display of arrogance and unprofessionalism in which the players in this case have conducted themselves speaks volumes as to how far above the law they really feel they are. The display of corruption, collusion, and hypocrisy that has been witnessed throughout these hearings by attempts to throw out their own violations, which were sent in error, attempting to dismiss and ignore their own exhibits, which they know are in direct violation of state law, refusing to accept most of my witnesses or holding them to much higher standards than their own, refusing to hear the testimony of my witnesses who have been conducting the exact activities that the township accuses Royal Oaks Vineyards and Winery of being in violation of their own zoning ordinance, claiming they were irrelevant to the cease and desist order, refusing to accept documents as exhibits which they know prove that they are violating state law. Their own solicitor claims that they don't need that information in order to make their decision. Over the past 9 years, we have worked very hard to establish our goal of creating a beautiful place to celebrate life, which we feel is a very unique and positive addition to our community. Lebanon County is a beautiful area that begs for reasons for people to visit and reasons to remain living here. We feel that our business provides both visitors and residents with a relaxing, comfortable place to enjoy music, the arts, and encourage social interaction and charitable events, all while enjoying and learning about Pennsylvania-produced agricultural products on our working farm. We are strong supporters of other local businesses because we believe that Lebanon has a lot to offer. And when tourists visit our winery in a wine trail or while passing through the area, the more that we can show them that Lebanon County has to offer, the more reason they have to return. We feel we are a very important part of Lebanon being a place to grow, and as testified by all of our adjoining neighbors who are in favor of our business, we are not an annoyance or a nuisance to this area, as this township used as their excuse for this order. North Cornwall Township, through its past administration, had approved and encouraged this project, despite the claims of the current players. We have met all requirements, gone through all plans, permits, approvals, and inspections. We have not violated any existing ordinances and are not about to fold up and be forced out of business by trumped-up violations. Through all of my counsel, research, and advice that I have received, there are several important findings that I have learned. First, Thomas Long, in his role as the North Cornwall Township Zoning Officer, is the sole individual who has been empowered by the state of Pennsylvania to apply his discretion in interpreting any questionable zoning ordinances as well as enforcing them. The Zoning Hearing Board neither has the authority to create, decide, or enforce ordinances. They can only decide through an appeal of Mr. Long's decision whether or not he applied the proper interpretation of the ordinance in his decision to create a cease and desist order. The zoning hearing board's refusal to accept exhibits that show they are in violation of state law does not exempt them from abiding by the law. I've also learned that Mr. Thomas Long's decision is in direct violation of Pennsylvania state law, and that process has been taken over by the Pennsylvania State Attorney General's office. While I strongly disagree with Mr. Long's interpretation of the North Cornwall Township ordinances and his reasoning that if it is not listed as a permitted use, it is therefore unpermitted, according to the zoning in the agricultural district of North Cornwall Township. He is correct in the fact that none of the listed activities in the cease and desist order are specifically listed in the ordinance. However, there have been 3 separate total township ordinances that were in effect since the inception of this project, and none of these specific activities are listed as a permitted use in any of the zoning districts in North Cornwall Township. Whereas the state of Pennsylvania has authorized Mr. Long to enforce his decisions, Mr. Long does not have the authority to apply exclusionary or spot zoning and enforce them to a single property owner. By applying his same logic fairly and evenly, he has now declared effectively that all of these violations are prohibited throughout all zoning districts of North Cornwall Township, thereby effectively banning all sounds of music within the entire township. In all the research that has been conducted, we have never found a single case where any governmental body has ever totally banned the sound of music from any individual or group of individuals since this country was founded. Realizing the implications of this decision, if we abide by these prohibitions, we will never survive as a business. Being fully aware that we stand the risk of receiving a $500 fine, in addition to being the first day of a 2-weekend-long Valentine's wine trail, we are planning a huge Freedom Fest celebration this Saturday, February 10th. Since we have been quite proud of all the events that we have conducted here at Royal Oaks Vineyard and Winery, we will be featuring all of those activities that are listed in our cease and desist order throughout the entire day, beginning at 12 noon. The invitation to our Freedom Fest is open to everyone, including the Township Supervisors Sam Abram, Mike Wayman, the Zoning Hearing Board, their councils, Attorney Keith Kilgore, and a very, very special invitation to Zoning Officer Mr. Thomas Long. I fully expect Mr. Long will enforce his cease and desist order at that time, which he is fully empowered to do. However, according to the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, every citizen is afforded equal protection under the law. Therefore, as soon as Mr. Long enforces the cease and desist order upon me, I personally feel, as an honest, law-abiding, socially responsible citizen in this township, that is my duty and obligation to ensure that all citizens of North Cornwall Township are afforded equal protection under the law. The moment I hear someone whistle, hum, sing, turn on their car radio, play a guitar, or stereo, or any other such device that creates the sound of music, whether indoors or outdoors, live or recorded, I will personally call Mr. Thomas Long and report that individual or group of individuals to him. If Mr. Long fails to serve that individual or group of individuals a cease and desist order and enforce that order upon that person or persons, he will have violated my civil rights and the civil rights of every individual throughout this entire township. At this point, affording legal representation for myself should no longer be an issue. I've had several attorneys approach me who are prepared to file a federal civil rights lawsuit on behalf of myself and all the citizens of this township. So the one thing Mr. Abram was correct in, it is not what you were told, it is what's in writing. Thank you.